Hello there, friends. Welcome. Today I'm going to be going over some of the new bass libraries that are currently out on the market. And if you have stumbled your way onto this video, then you are like I was, and you are trying to figure out which one fits your sound the best. So that is what this video is going to be for. Now, first off, let me start by saying that no company has sponsored this video. This is all my own personal opinions on what I think of these products. And now I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. I'm going to be basically doing this as a out of the box. Just you buy the bass, how is it going to sound for you without any extra accessories, anything like that. I do have just some basic bus glue compression, some EQ, and a clipper on the end just to kind of keep the dynamics about the same. But as far as the overall tone, I'm going to be just keeping everything essentially in the box for what you get with the bass libraries. So you know what you're getting into. So as you can see, I have right here the new Djinn Bass II. I also have the new Nolly library. I have Eurobass III. I have Omni Bass, and the one I originally did on this song is Umansky Bass. Disclaimer, all of these libraries are good. So there's not a single one that I'd say is terrible. Some are better than others at some things, and some are better in other ways. Also, some are better depending on the genre and the type of sound you are going for. Also, all of them can be improved with just outside external processing, as we all know. But again, the point of this video is going to be what kind of sound can you get with just what you got, just buying the bass. So now, before we get into it, please like, comment, subscribe, help me out. I would greatly appreciate it. So moving on, we are going to go with Umansky Bass first, because again, that was the first one that I had, and the first one I used, and the one I originally used on this album. Now, I'm not going to be using the tone that I used originally because I was using Parallax. So I've got a similar tone now with the grit tone. Now, the thing about Umansky Bass, and with what I've noticed with some of the other later ones like the Djinn, Eurobass, the Umansky Bass did not have presets. So you can mix your own tone in the box, which I love that feature. You can do DI, clean, grit, and heavy. I went with grit on this song, but let's hear how Umansky Bass sounds in this mix of False World. As you can see down here on the articulation, it's got finger alternate. So it's just sticking to a alternating finger in that part. Now we will hear how it sounds solo on the breakdown to get the really fast-paced movements, because that's what trips up a lot of these electronic libraries is super fast parts. So let's see how the Umansky Bass sounds. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. As you can see, I have the humanize setting set to about here, position 10. All these libraries operate in fundamentally a similar fashion. They've done a good job at keeping them relatively uniform. The humanize, as you would expect, just kind of makes it sound more like a bassist. It goes from machine to human to bassist. I'm assuming, bassist would be the worst. Hilarious. Position lets you choose where your notes are played on the fretboard. And as you can expect, if you're playing a lot of notes on the guitar up here, but then your bass is playing all the notes down here on the higher strings, it doesn't really line up too well. So you want to keep things kind of synchronized. All these libraries pretty much have this same sort of feature. So that's Umansky Bass. Enough talking. Let's just go into Omni Bass now. See how this one sounds in the mix. volume a little higher. Now let's see how Eurobass sounds in the mix. As you can see with Eurobass, it's got the articulation of pick. So the other ones were finger, this one's pick. I don't see an option on this one where you can change whether it's pick or finger. So someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just defaults. Pick down, pick alternate. It looks like it does not have just standard finger style. Oh, it's got palm mutes. That's useful. So it's got picking and it's got palm muting, but it doesn't look like it just has finger alternating. So that's just something to keep in mind if that's what you're going for. Now moving on to the other recent release by a different company, Get Good Drums Nolly. See how this one sounds. So from what I understood about the Nolly Bass is that it is pick only as well. You cannot deviate. You can override the string positions, you can do slides, I see that, but I don't believe you can change the articulation types. I think it's all picks. I don't know how I feel about that. And last but not least, the newest release that's currently out at the time of this video anyway is Djinn 2. We're going to be listening to that one now. So if you've made it this far, thank you for sticking around. As you can see, all libraries have like they're all incredible in the mix. Um Soloed, some of them, some of them sound better than others, especially if you get an exposed part like I have in this verse where it's just drums and bass. That's where it kind of matters a little bit more how your bass tone sounds, but if you're not doing bass solos, it matters significantly less. I could put parallax on, take the all of these and put them on DI and make them sound different, better, different. Um, but this video is again just what you can get just by purchasing the bases themselves. Now, there really is not a one-size-fits-all recommendation. I will say, however, the new Djinn Bass II having the ability to use this here little switch and switch back and forth between picking and fingers, having all these articulations you can use. It's wonderful. Even select the bend range. You can apparently control how long your slides go if you want to slide from one note to another. Honestly, this library is hard to beat. This new Djinn Bass 2 is quite impressive. Um, is the tone better than the other basses? The Eurobass, the Omni Bass, the Umansky Bass? It's debatable. It's kind of more just like what tone are you looking for? Because honestly, like depending on the genre, depending on the style, Omni Bass works great. Great for gent. It's great for progressive metal. It's great for all sorts of modern metal things. Ditka Drums Nolly. It is the cheaper option. It'll get the job done working in the mix. Beautiful interface. I love how the bass looks. I'm just not too satisfied with one, how robotic it sounds and the humanized function rather than making it sound human. It's got milliseconds there. I'm just assuming that's just a certain window of time that the notes could hit, perhaps, maybe to make it more human. I feel like the humanizing engine in the submission audio space is just significantly better. This is purely my opinion, purely my input on using this in practical ways. So if this video gets requests for a more advanced video, then I will upload a video where I go through and I put these on DI, all the other bells and whistles to make it sound how I want, because I promise you, each of these basses can work in just about any mix you throw them on, and that's what's so great about them, is that they're practical. All of them are very, very practical. And we're getting to the point now where if you properly write out your MIDI and use the key switches, use the articulation, because keep in mind, I had this set on auto. It was automatically articulating what it thought would be the best articulations, and most of the time it sounded great. There were a few times where it sounded a little robotic, and could be changed by changing up the articulation a little bit, but you have the option to do so. If you take the time to properly write out these MIDI tracks for bass, they're almost indistinguishable from actual bass guitars nowadays, and that's what's so impressive. So I hoped this helped in your decision making if you're trying to figure out which bass you want to buy, or if you have one of these basses and you're really wanting to upgrade. I hope this helped, and thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day.